I don't know. We got Leos. Woo! Yeah. Give me some Leo. Let me get some Leo energy up in here. We don't need no Scorpio party because we are the fucking party. Ow! See what's going on with Leos this week. 2 of Wands. All right. Look at that. I like the 2 of Wands. Definitely the new world of love in your hands. These 2 dudes are definitely getting down. It's funny that there's a sailor in there. I was a sailor, but definitely I don't swing that way. But this is definitely a good card. There's a world that you're starting to see, Leo, of the love that you want to have in your life, and you can have it in your hands. It's like, I feel like Leos are getting more focused on what they want now, and even maybe focusing on somebody that they want. That's a good thing. Wow, the challenge is the Leo card. Interesting. Maybe you're timid because of this. That you don't have that typical flair. You're afraid of how much love you should give, how much you should give. But let me tell you, Leo, the only way that love works as a Leo is you got to fully be your Leo self, and you just got to give it your all and give it all your will and fuck it. So if your relationship, you've focused and you found what it is, don't be timid. Or if you're single and you find somebody you like, it's like, what else you got to lose? At least you were yourself. You shined your brightest. If they don't like the light that shines, and they don't like the light that shines. So that's a challenge. You got to get over the insecurities once you find something. That's a secret that Leos don't reveal. Once we like somebody and we focus on somebody, we get nervous. We don't know, like, how should we push harder? Should we not push harder? Should we, like, we don't want to, like, fuck it up. And that becomes us. The Aquarius is our 7th house, right? We start, like, kind of not knowing how to deal with it all. The overall card that we got here is the 3 of Pentacles upright. So this is about creating something overall with a partner or with somebody that you're dating, and finding that there's beautiful things that can be created from all angles. Of course, this card is the 3 of Pentacles. It always has 3 people. So it's almost like, you know, maybe there's something else involved, or maybe there's a child involved, or maybe there's another lover involved, or maybe that other person's still seeing another person, or maybe you're having to deal with, like, letting go of somebody in order to move something. It could be a lot of those things, but the end result of this card is building something together with somebody and to create something. And that has to be a focus. If it's just love for love, but without feeling like, oh, we can go do creative things together or go build cool things together, there's areas in your life that need to be understood between both parties right now, or anybody that you're dating that you feel like, yeah, they want to go grow and build things together. If it's just like love for love, I mean, that's great, but love with also building something is very important. The shadow to that thing is, look at that, the peaceful among thorns. So yeah, this is you too timid to really, it's like you're trying to play it really safe. And I would say that as a Leo, sometimes I guess that works because we can be really intense, but I got a feeling that this situation, it's quite the opposite. They like the fire. They like who you are, or your partner likes who you are, and they feel like, why aren't you being the way you used to be? It's like, I don't know. Maybe it felt like, who knows, whatever it is. But like, you can't stay in kind of this kind of like hindered self. It's on yourself. So stop worrying and stop protecting yourself, or stop, you know, loving things that make you have to feel like you're stuck in a place. Like, maybe you feel trapped and you're afraid to really express your will and your true happiness and your true love, and you're afraid because it's not working. You're not building anything, and you don't feel like that's the world you want. Leos can sometimes stay in those situations that suck. Wow, the party, the 3 of Cups came out with that 2 of Wands. I mean, this is, I mean, woo, fuck yeah, cha-ching. Leos, definitely, you know, a little Alice in Wonderland here, but this is like, this is the exciting party that you've been looking for the world you want, and to offer all of the great feelings that you can have in your life in love. So this is definitely a very serious situation that's very positive coming this week for you, and turning the tides. I feel like this is a turning the tides for you, and something to truly celebrate about and to have fun with. And it's about fun and laughter and having a good time. And that's the world that you want anyway. But don't hinder that by putting a party poop on yourself by just being yourself. Which would mean you not being yourself would be the party poop. That Three of Pentacles popped up because of the King of Cups in reversed. I feel like that you don't feel like you emotionally feel that overall right now in your life, and what you're changing is because you're not feeling the strong emotional connection in your life. And it's having a bond that's creating something, and the love and the fun and excitement that feels like it can fill everything up. Because being a king and building a kingdom with a queen, or a queen building a kingdom with a king, like there's something about having to have all the aspects of life, having a purpose and having love and having all of that at once. So it's like you want a lot, Leo, and that's important. Don't feel like you can't have that. You might feel like that you haven't been able to have that power, the emotional security that you want through love, because until you get to that place where you find somebody willing to work together and build something beautiful with, then that's when it fills up. And I think that's more of a reminder card, but it's also the theme of the week. If it's not something that you can go build something together with, or you don't see them being able to work side by side with you and you being able to work side by side with them, then it ain't going to work. But if it is, man, superpower. Super awesome. The overall cards that we got here, we did get that Justice card upright. So this is that justice that's aligning in like pure harmony, right? So it's like that harmony that's coming together. And this is the scales of Libra is definitely a powerful relationship card of finding that equal balance and finding like somebody that's on your same playing field here in all areas, which is very hard for Leo. It's fine. And the last overall that we got here is the boundaries card. So you might be dealing with some sort of boundaries. Maybe that boundary line is you're afraid to jump the fence of your truth here and who you are because you feel like that'd be rubbing it too hard, or you feel like somebody else has kind of put some blocks on you and maybe you don't know what to do, or they have boundaries or they have walls up. And this is about, you don't need to, push it too hard, but I think that it's like finding that equilibrium and finding it and understanding that you probably both have boundaries or have some walls up in some sort of place. But I would say that this is definitely, not a time to hold yourself and bound yourself and block yourself from the justice and from the just place you want to be. There's too much of a party going on here for boundaries. That's going to be like an overall theme, is like, how far do you and that partner go? How far do you and your relationship, if you're in one, take things, and that stays in alignment. And all that alignment is what feels right within two people. I feel like that's the whole irony of that whole situation there. The Astro Dice, we got Aries here with the South Node. Wow, and that's in the 6th. This is saying focus on Libra 12th house. Focus on the dream of love instead of the specific way that things should look and the way that little things should look, and trying to identify these small little things, like go grand, go visionary, go into the dream of Libra and love. I mean, that's where it's saying to go. It's definitely not saying to focus on the individual and all the little things or schedules and timing and making it like machine, when this is about dream. Machine, not dream.
Machine, not dream.
I'm going to go pee, by the way.
Not robotics,
So you can talk to Leo's. You're Leo rising. Well, how are you feeling anyway? I want the audience to know, and I'll listen to you while I go pee.
Listen up. Take some notes. But you can't be afraid to ruffle some feathers, though, within life. You can't be afraid to. That starts from within. Knowing what it is that you want to get out of this relationship. And I actually went through this earlier this year. I was with an individual that I knew I necessarily couldn't be myself. And I felt like I was putting limitations on who I was. I felt like I was putting, and that, like what? Like being able to be authentically weird. We'll leave it at that. And it's not on, and that's no fault, and that's no the fault of the individuals, because they're living their own life as well. But you have to be able to acknowledge that and say, okay, am I going to be able to adapt my life to kind of fit what this person needs out of me? And that answer was no for me. That answer was no, because there's always going to be some types, that we need to maybe curb because it's not truly beneficial for us, and other people can acknowledge that, and other people can kind of show us that maybe we're not having like the healthiest lifestyles or the healthiest mindset, and they can kind of help us change that a bit. But that core you, that core energetic force that lives inside of all of us, that's something that can't be stifled. That's something that we can't necessarily bend on or even break and cut out completely, because then that's just losing a major part of ourselves. So I think that it's really important that we take these steps to know who we are, you know, through all these times with ourselves that we've had over these last months or so. It could be almost like a depressive state because maybe we realize that we do need the outside world more than we thought that we did. But it's knowing that we always have our own back if we do. You know, sometimes we kind of bail on ourselves. Sometimes we kind of put up this wall, you know, this egoic, I'm not good enough, or I don't know what it is that I'm doing, when that's bullshit, to speak frankly. Because you do, even though if sometimes you might feel lost, you're still in there. You're still kind of paving the way of these steps that you want to take. And so you're never fully lost. You're never without yourself always. And you need to have your back. You need to not allow yourself to be the bamboo that bends, it does not break, you know? Sway in the wind a little bit, but you still have your strength. You still know who you are, and you're still standing on your own 2 feet. And you have to be able to acknowledge that. And so when these partners come into our lives, and they can change it for greatness, you know, and everything could be fine, but except there's still those little aspects of ours that we're starting to lose, and we're starting to downplay, and we're starting to kind of put a muzzle on what it is, on our expression. And that's just going to end in a downfall. It's going to be a downward spiral, because there is that part of you that you're trying to put away, you know, and that could be your friends realize that, you realize that. Sometimes your partner isn't going to realize that, or sometimes your partner is going to say, okay, but that's fine with me. And you know that that's a lie too, as well, because there's just certain boundaries that we all have within our lives that we're just not okay with overstepping it. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine to have your own set of boundaries, to acknowledge that in your partner and say, okay, this is a deal breaker for me. And so it's just time to stop, you know? And that's going to be life. That's going to be life fully, and that's going to be the progression that we're going through in these next steps through the remainder of the year and going into 2021 and forward through. You know, there's going to be progressions, and there's going to be areas that we're saying, okay, that's a deal breaker for me. But we have to acknowledge it. We have to take the steps to really know it within inside of ourselves. First, we have to take the steps to know who we are, what these progressions are that we're trying to get out of life. Where is it that we want to go? Who is it that I want to be? Who's this partner that I want to be there next to me? What are they capable of bringing into my life? What is it, the happiness that they're bringing inside themselves? Because there's nothing worse than trying to fix someone or trying to uplift someone, because that's not going to be beneficial to either one of you. It's great to kind of insert that spark of energy into someone, or vice versa, allowing that spark of energy to kind of kick ourselves in the ass a bit and get it moving again. But once that's gone, you have to be able to generate your own force. You have to be able to generate your own energy to continue the progression forward within inside that relationship. Right? Wouldn't you say, Davey boy? 100%. 100%. You know, and maybe
feeling that you can be your weird self.
Yeah. Yeah.
That weird self came back.
Oh, it was never gone. It was
never gone.
It was never gone.
But it was in full frontal.
Yeah, always full frontal. That's how I roll.
Full frontal.
Whatever it is that makes you happy. See, you know,
I was just peeing, and I was like so stoked. There was such a good Leo reading. I'm like, fuck yeah, motherfucker, and throw some bubbles for me. And Leo Rising's out there.
These are some freaking bomb ass bubbles.
You're Leo Rising, you got Leo Moon. Fucking throw some bubbles. The Leos just got the reading that they've been needing for a long time. Man, all the Sag energy is the fifth house of the left for all Leo and Leo Rising. Fucking fuck yeah.
Bubbles.
Shit.
Tiny bubbles. I got bubble soap all over me.
What do you
now.
think, homeboy? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. All right.